Zach?
Says invite, mute all, and more.
You have to look up at the top right for participants. It should say admit all.
Admit all.
Oh,
The
yeah.
top right.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll start the music and we can let everybody in.
All right. Hello. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Scuttlebutt, our Monday night Scuttlebutt program. Used to be called the VBC Happy Hour. We are featuring Henry Shepke tonight. This is the first night of Henry Shepke's official Veterans Breakfast Club internship. Welcome aboard, Henry. Thank you for helping us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Good, good. Henry, you are in what grade now?
I'm sophomore now.
You're sophomore in high school from Madison, Wisconsin. Henry has been joining our programs for 4 years now since the pandemic. So it's wonderful to have him. He's going to be working with Sean on the back end of this program. We've got restreaming going, we've got sharing going, communicating with people in the chat, doing all kinds of kind of, playing the music and monitoring what's going on Facebook and YouTube. So there's a lot to do putting together one of these programs. So we're really grateful to have Henry with us. Tonight is Jeopardy, our much awaited rematch, the Jeopardy rematch. I think we've done 2 of these programs so far in the past 3 years or so. And we are heading into, no, we've done 2. This is our third. Right, Sean? Am I getting that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is our third.
This is our third. That is Sean Hall. He's our director of programming. We have Henry Shepke. He's our VBC intern. I'm Todd DiPastino. I'm the executive director of the Veterans Breakfast Club. We are a nonprofit that's been around since 2008, having veterans come together with the public to share stories and talk about military culture, past and present. Tonight, we are featuring our third military Jeopardy program. I do want a few announcements, do want to let people know about a few things that we have coming up before we launch the game. The first is a breakfast in person at Christchurch at Grove Farm. This is just north of Pittsburgh, right off Interstate 79 in Sewickley, PA. It's a wonderful event. I think we have 80 people or so signed up already for this breakfast that begins at 8:30. We'll work the room with the microphone and we'll have veterans share stories. I already know a few veterans who will be sharing wonderful stories on Wednesday, including one who was truly one of the very last service members to leave Vietnam on March 29th, 1973, which was the day that, it's Vietnam Veterans Day, when the last of the military personnel as advisors or as combatants left Vietnam because of the Paris Peace Accord. So we'll be sharing some stories. If you're in the area, please do join us. That is, oh my gosh, that's wrong. Wednesday is April 24th. Jeez, you talk as much as I do, you're going to make mistakes. Monday, April 29th, we have a breakfast, our first on the other side of the state. This is in the Philadelphia area, Philadelphia, Trenton, New Jersey area at Bucks County Community College. The wonderful Lorraine Fowler has put this together. Lorraine is a 17-year Navy veteran. She's also a veteran, I think, of the Army National Guard and Army National Guard Reserve. And she's a community leader, a veterans leader in the Philadelphia area. She does great work at Bucks County Community College, and she's helping to bring together this wonderful group of people for a storytelling breakfast. That's Monday, April 29th. I will be there.
She's with us tonight. She's with us in the Zoom room tonight.
Oh, is she really? Let's get her commenting on this. Lorraine is a really inspiring person. She has a really interesting story herself. She's old enough to have served in Operation Desert Storm and also to have served after 9/11. And she's a community leader. Lorraine, can I call you Lorraine publicly, or would you prefer Lena? Is that your stage name?
Lorraine. Lorraine.
You know, Lorraine, it would be a lot simpler if you used one name.
This is how I put people in categories.
Well, I think I've made the Lorraine cut instead of the Lita. So we're going to have a wonderful event, Lorraine. I'm so grateful that you kind of contacted us and really worked very hard to get the space, get the catering, get the people. I appreciate it. It takes a lot to organize one of these events, and I'm very grateful that you really, really put in the effort to make this
It is a pleasure.
good. All right. Well,
I'm excited.
I will see you then. I'll be getting into town Sunday evening. Maybe we'll have dinner and talk about what we plan to do the next morning.
Absolutely.
All right.
Sean, we'll talk offline.
All right, sounds good.
Very good. All right. So we also have coming up on Thursday, can we continue with our Masters of the Air discussion? This is Glenn Flickinger's program where he focuses on the Apple Plus TV series Masters of the Air. And it covers the air war in Europe in World War II, especially the activities of the 100th Bomb Group. And on Thursday, we're going to have the children of Everett Blakely, who's depicted in the series. And I think it'll be Jim Blakely and I think David Blakely will also be there. They'll be talking about their father's service and what they think of his depiction in Masters of the Air and what they think of the series as a whole. And then on Monday night, same day that we're having the breakfast in Bucks County, we are back here with our Monday night scuttlebutt with Chuck Toish. He is a Vietnam veteran with heck of a compelling story. And in the 1990s, he was compelled to go back to Vietnam and do some humanitarian work, especially building libraries in Vietnam. And he's been doing that for 30 years plus. So he'll be joining us. He's a name that a lot of people who do work in Vietnam know. And I've certainly met a handful of people who said, you really should talk to Chuck Toich. And so we're finally going to get him on the program and have him share his story. So that's a week from tonight, 7 p.m. And Sean Hall, you have your hand raised.
Real quick announcement. For those of you who usually, if you miss any one of our programs, you know that you can go to YouTube and rewatch the program on YouTube. They're usually posted on Facebook. It's how we restream everything. But I want to let everybody know that our Scuttlebutt podcast has become our Monday night programming, as well as our Thursday night Greatest Generation Lives are now podcasts as well. So if you can't sit down in front of your computer and watch on YouTube, and you'd rather just pop in your earbuds while you're walking the dog or driving into work or whatever you're doing, you can definitely get the podcast now in audio format that we are releasing.
And, that's a good reminder because I know that we get a lot of questions about where can I find, last night's program, where can I find last week's program? And one of the places that you can find all our programs is on our website, veteransbreakfastclub.org/past events/past events. So veteransbreakfastclub.org/past events. You could find it here, right? If you just mouse over events, right here, you'll see past events. So this is where you go to find past programming. All right. Okay, let's get started on this first round of Military Jeopardy, Veterans Breakfast Club Jeopardy. I'm very grateful to Ray Brendel for having put together this first round. Ray, you are going to be the arbiter and the judge of the answers. You have some very tough questions in this round.
Okay.
I found it very challenging.
I wrote those a while ago. I hope I remember the answers.
And I'm just going to tell you, Ray, that if I get complaints or disputes, I'm sending them right to you. All right?
All right.
So Army veteran Ray Brendel.
Aren't there some officers on this call, some colonels or something?
Yeah. So you better get ready to get a dressing down or two. Yeah. So but they are great. I mean, you really, I think just achieved a wonderful tone and level of difficulty here with this round. How we're going to play it is everybody can answer the question, but we do need you to raise your Zoom hand, correct, Sean?
Yes.
Because that's the only way we could see you. If you're in this instance, because we'll be sharing the screen, we won't be able to see when people put their hands up in front of the camera. It'll have to be the Zoom hand. Sean, do you want to explain to people
Super easy. If you're at your computer, move your mouse over top of your Zoom window. At the bottom, you will see something called reactions. You click reactions, and you should see raise hand right there. If you're on an iPad or a phone, that can be a little different. There might be three buttons that you would, 3 little dots. You click on that, and you might see reactions, and you should be able to click raise hand from there. Since you're all muted, you won't be able to go ah and scream really loud to try to get our attention, because I know that the excitement for Jeopardy answers kind of can get, fever pitched.
Out of hand.
As John Ferguson just did, he raised his hand. Go down to
Yes.
that reactions at the bottom, click raise hand, and we will see the first person who does it. That's the first person that pops in our window. We'll be able to say that was the person who clicked it first.
And that's it. Zoom determines who the first person is by putting them right at the top of our corner of our window. So we'll see it. John, are you just demonstrating the hand, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You get an extra point for being the demonstrator. Very good. All right. So are the ground rules? Oh, and then of course you have to put your answer in the form of a question. And we are going to stick to that tonight. Are we not, Ray Brendel?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hey, before you start, will Sean know who's in first?
Zoom will determine it. So
yeah, Sean.
If 5 people click raise hand at the same time, Zoom is going to take the person that did it first, however quickly it was, and pop them up to our top left. We'll know exactly who hit it first.
Yeah, I understand that, but then you'll call on that person, right?
Yes.
Yes. And then if they get it wrong, we go to the next person, correct, Sean?
That's correct.
Right. Colonel Washabaugh.
Yes. Do we unmute or will you unmute us if we're lucky enough to be called upon if we raise our hand?
We will ask you to unmute yourself.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. This should be a blast. Okay, here we go. This is round 1. And I already see a discrepancy. Ray Brendel's version of Jeopardy is Jeopardy. Just a little, I'll point that fact out. All right, here is the first board. We have celebrities who served in Vietnam. Oh, I'm sorry, in World War II. Famous battles, acronyms, Air Force, famous Navy ships, and 5 stars. And you could see each question gets progressively more difficult, starting with the $200 question, going to the $1,000 question. Sean and Henry will be keeping score. And at the end of 2 rounds, we will determine who the winner is for the night. I think John Ferguson, because he was brave enough to volunteer to show how to do the raising the hand, you get to choose the first category. John Ferguson.
Celebrities who served in World War II for 600.
Here we go. Celebrities who served World War II for 600. He wasn't fishing when enlisted in the U.S. Army in 1943. Most Americans became aware of this actor for his role as Tessio in The Godfather. Later, he had his own TV show, Ken Kazak.
Ask him to unmute.
Say it again. Who is Abe Vigoda?
Let's see, Abe Vigoda. Abe Vigoda, exactly. Fish. He had a show, Fish, right, in the 70s.
Right. Correct.
That was the reference to fishing.
Todd, you got to. I'm sorry, but ironically, he was also sleeping with the fishes.
Oh, you're right.
At the end of The Godfather, yes.
Oh, do you know what? And do you know what I didn't? Okay, so I need to hold on. I need to go back to the panel. Now that was celebrity. Okay, so that's gone. All right. So Ken, you get to choose the next one. Let's lower your hand.
Oh, 1 second. Sorry. You did it? Okay, got it. Famous battles for 200.
Famous battles for 200. Speaking of the 1st Marine Division, Chesty Puller said, they weren't retreating, they were fighting in the opposite direction. I saw Dave Seaver first, Sean. What'd you see?
Oh, I will count you as our judge.
I'm just, but
General.
I could no, but we have 4 people with their hands raised, right?
Yep. 5.
And but 5, and but Brad is on my top left, so I think he was first.
That's true.
Okay, all right. I almost
At least
cheated.
that's what I saw.
Oh man, can you imagine if I cheated the Colonel? Oof. All right, this is a Marine Corps question too. All right, Brad, you know the answer.
What was the Battle of Chosin Reservoir?
What is the Battle of Chosin Reservoir? Ding, 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 ding. Excellent. Good job. Brad, you get to, let's lower everybody's hands. You get to choose the next. All right. You get to choose the next category. Let's get Beth's hand lowered here so it's a fair. Okay, there we go.
Let's try famous battles again for 400.
Famous battles for 400. It remains the bloodiest day in American history with a combined tally of 22,727 dead, wounded, or missing. Jim Roberts, you. No, it's Ken. Man, I'm getting the wrong. Okay. It's Ken, right?
Yep. Ken Kazak.
All right.
Yes. July 3rd, 1863. What is July 3rd, 1863?
No,
I'm sorry,
All right.
that's not correct.
I'm sorry. That is not correct. Now, do we punish him?
Yes,
No.
definitely. Push-ups.
How do, no, I mean by taking away
Squat
points,
thrusts.
not push-ups, taking away points. So he has 1 point. He has, so we take away some points from him, correct, Sean?
In the real rules, yeah. That would be minus what, 400?
Yeah, minus 400. And we're playing the real rules. So I have Ben Wright next here. Oh, what the heck?
What is the Battle of Gettysburg?
No.
No,
Also incorrect.
So let's see here. I need to stop sharing for a second. I'm sorry, because I was afraid of this would happen. Go back to the panel. Okay, I'm all screwed up here. I remember this happening before. I can't, because I already showed it, I can't access that question right now, but I just want to make sure. All right. Hold on, just hold with me. Yeah, okay. I'm going to do it again.
Come on, Trebek.
I know, I'm coming. Now I have to take stuff off the board. Hold on a second. Okay. Sean, could you talk and say something interesting while I figure this out?
I'm very interested as to how many people probably sat and watched Jeopardy with their parents over the course of years. Who here, by just showing your hand, since we have raised hands here, can you show your hand if you ever beat your parents at Jeopardy? Greg, Ray, Scott, Mary, did you never beat your parents at Jeopardy? No? There we go.
Okay, here we go. This is the bloodiest day in American history. Carol, I know that you know this, so thank goodness you're the next one up.
What is the Battle of Antietam?
Ding, 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 ding. The Battle of Antietam. Exactly. Thank you very,
if I
very
may
much.
jump in, please. Antietam was a single day battle, whereas Gettysburg was a 3-day battle. Also, something interesting, September 17th, 1862, the day of the Antietam battle, was also the day of the Allegheny Arsenal explosion. If you're familiar with Pittsburgh history, the same day, I forget, 20, 30 young women, mostly young women, died in Arsenal, what is now Arsenal, neighborhood of Pittsburgh.
Right. An Arsenal exploded, and very young. I mean, they were girls. They were
Right.
12, 13, 14 years old.
And that was the single loss of civilians during the war. Of course, that was overshadowed by Antietam.
Right. All right. Antietam, the Battle of Antietam. What the single day, the bloodiest single day. Okay. Carol, you choose the next.
Oh, let's do celebrities who served in World War II for 800.
Got it. It's odd, but he saw action as a radio man gunner on a consolidated B-24 Liberator bomber in the U.S. Army Air Forces with the 8th Air Force in England.
Yeah.
Oh, I know Ken knows this. I know he knows this.
It's a guess. Who is Jack Klugman?
Demote him further. Beth,
Demote him.
this is a
This
Go
is
ahead.
a guess, but this is a total guess. But who is Clark Gable?
Mm-mm.
No.
No, Ken. No, Beth, you're way out. Ken, you are the right church, wrong pew. Let me just say.
I'm back.
Excuse me.
It's
Who we got?
Greg.
No.
It'll be Greg
Greg.
Yost.
Greg's next.
Oh, he wasn't a.
I'm gonna mute Beth.
Greg Yost, you had your hand up, but then it was lowered. Are you?
Yes, we have some people who
I just couldn't unmute.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess who was Tony Randall.
Right church, wrong pew.
That's where okay, that was go ahead. All right. So
You know, yeah, I hope you know where I'm getting at with that.
I think
Right
Chad
church,
Riddle
wrong-
was next.
All right, Chad.
Is that Jack Lemmon? What is Jack Lemmon?
You are much warmer. Much warmer. Carol, come on,
Somebody's
Carol.
got to get hot eventually.
Teach these people something, will you?
Who is Walter Matthau?
Ding, 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 ding. Who is Walter Matthau? So there was the play, The Odd Couple, followed by the movie, The Odd Couple, followed by the TV sitcom, The Odd Couple. And I think you have to be old enough to remember. Well, I mean, Sean Hall has no idea what we're talking about, but the play what came first, and then the movie, and then the TV series.
I did like Walter Matthau, though.
Yeah, he was great. Bad News Bears, terrific.
Yeah.
All right, Carol.
Okay, let's go to celebrities who served in World War II for 1,000.
You got it. Here we go. She was a Marine who worked as a truck driver and dispatcher in Cherry Point, North Carolina. Later in life, she was golden.
Mary Klepper.
Mary, I know that you know this. Hold on. I'm going to let you swallow first, and then we'll unmute you. And Mary, you asked about our past live programs. You could also find those on our website, veteransbreakfastclub.org/events. Okay.
B. Arthur also went to school in Maryland. So who is B. Arthur?
That's right. And interestingly, she denied that she was a Marine.
Mm-hmm.
She said, that's not me. It is very clearly her. So I don't know why she was denying it. Maybe there was some kind of discrimination, against women having the service history in World War II. But during her prime, she said that she was never in the Marine Corps, even though she was. Okay. Very good. You get to choose the next one, Mary. What?
Oh, unmute. We accidentally muted her.
You choose.
Sorry, I
Okay.
forgot to choose, so I forgot to unmute myself. I'll stick with the celebrities for 200.
Okay. 200. Oh, we already
We
did that one. Yeah, got to go back.
I think when you did that one, you erased 600 instead, but that's okay.
Oh, okay.
I think.
I think you're right. I think
So
you're
we'll
right.
do 400. We'll do
Got it.
400.
Frankly, this actor didn't give a damn and enlisted in the U.S. Army. Eventually, he was commissioned and flew combat missions in Europe.
I
So
see
hard to
Greg
find
Yost.
Greg's number one.
who was Clark Gable?
Ding, 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 ding. Who is Clark Gable? That's right. And he was like the first big celebrity, I believe. Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart enlisted actually before the war, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He did. But why is Clark Gable then credited with really being the first? Maybe he's the first to have then enlisted after Pearl Harbor or something like that.
Could be. Yeah.
And maybe that's it. Okay, you get to choose the next one.
Okay. How about 5 stars for 200?
Here we go. Following the Japanese invasion of the Philippines, he vowed to return, a promise he made a reality 16 months later. He also went on to oversee the Allied occupation of Japan following the country's surrender. Dave Seaver, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Todd?
I'm doing pretty well.
So the answer to this question is, who is Douglas MacArthur?
Ding, 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 ding. Who is Douglas MacArthur? Excellent. You get to choose the next one. Yeah, okay.
Well, gotta stay true to the blue. Let's go with Air Force for 600.
Of course, Air Force 600. Here we go. Hold it, Greg. You cannot cheat like that. This rank had the pay grade. This rank has the pay grade of E8 in the Air Force. Okay, Dave. Here we go. Oh, sorry. I muted you.
There we go. That would be, what is a senior master sergeant?
What is a senior master sergeant? That's a lot of stripes right there. Very good. All right. You get to go again.
Oh,
Choose
boy.
again.
Well, I mean, let's stay true to the blue and let's go with Air Force for 800.
You know, Greg, I have a friend.
I'm not cheating. I'm just hovering it over and it's clicking. I apologize. So
I have a friend who famously said when we were playing like basketball in high school, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Okay.
So, I admire your tenacity. Okay, Dave, did you want what, Air Force 800?
Correct.
Okay. The first jet-to-jet aerial victory took place during this war when a USAF Lockheed F-80C shot down a MiG-15 over the Yalu River. This is Greg. Now you get your chance. Oh, I'm sorry. You're going to have to unmute.
What was the Korean War?
What is the Korean War?
What is the Korean War?
Very good.
So, Todd.
Yeah.
Because I'm still unmuted, just for trivia's sake, my dad was on the island of Okinawa during the Korean War, and he worked on F-80s.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And F-80s, I wouldn't be able to find. I wouldn't be able to pick one out of a lineup.
First operational jet fighter we had.
Was that it? The first operational jet fighter? Okay.
That was for 800, correct?
Yes. So we have Greg choosing the next one.
Yeah. Let's go back to 5 stars for 400.
Very good. 5 stars for 400. While initially interested in attending the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, no appointments were available, leading him to apply to the U.S. Naval Academy. During World War II, he was the fleet commander at the Battle of Midway. We have Greg Yost. Greg.
Who was Nimitz?
Who is Chester Nimitz? That's it. Good picture of him right there. All right. I didn't know that he wanted to go to the military academy first. All right. Choose the next.
5 stars, 600.
There we go. When World War II started, he was Army Chief of Staff. After the war, he served as Secretary of State and Secretary of Defense. Greg Yost, you had the quickest draw.
Who was George Marshall?
Who was George Marshall, Uniontown's own, right? Uniontown. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Uniontown.
All right. Here we go.
Distant relative of Chief Justice John Marshall.
Really?
Yes. Distant
How about
relative.
that?
Yes.
Huh.
Yes. 5 stars, 800.
Here we go. What? Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yeah, I am seeing what you're seeing. That's
How's that?
strange.
How's that
Was he-
possible?
There we
Okay.
go.
He was the first to receive the 5-star rank. During World War II, he served as a close advisor aide to FDR. Oh, Ivan, I don't know if I've met you.
Sorry. No, sir. I just found out about this the other day from a friend in a history group.
Well,
And,
welcome. Thanks for
thank you,
joining
sir.
us.
Thank
Now,
you.
do you go by Yvonne or Ivan?
I always joke that my dad, who has the same name, goes by Yvonne and I'm Ivan. So,
Okay, very
so
good.
that way you don't call me Ivanito.
Very good. Very good, Ivan. Then what's your answer here?
Sir, I'm probably going to say his name incorrectly. I'll spell it also. That would be Admiral Leahy, I believe, Leahy.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, I think you pronounce it Leahy, William Leahy.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I always, I don't know why, I always seem to get that incorrectly.
Yes.
And because you're new to us, we'll let the who is go this time. That's your
Yeah,
Oh my
thank you,
goodness.
Sean.
Thank
Sean.
you,
You're
Scott.
right.
Gosh darn.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next time we won't be
Next
so
time.
kind. Very good. All right. But you do get to pick the next one.
Well, I'm going to give it even though I'm a former jarhead, I'm going to give this a shot. Famous Navy ships for 1,000.
Famous Navy ships for 1,000. She was the world's first operational nuclear-powered submarine. Greg, fast draw again.
What was the USS Nautilus?
Correct. What was the USS Nautilus? There it is. What year was that, Greg?
54, I believe.
Wow.
It went under the pole in what, 57, 58?
Boy,
It actually went under the North Pole, I think. August 57, August 58.
That seems very early to me. I mean, I'm
Very
sure
early.
that you're right, but man,
Very early. Yeah.
they got, considering the atomic bomb was only 9 years before. Boy, oh boy. Okay, so you get to choose the next one.
Well, let's do famous ships for 200 then.
Famous ships for 200. The U.S. lost this carrier during the Battle of Midway.
Shoot.
Greg?
What was the USS Yorktown?
The USS Yorktown. There you go. Here we go. All right.
I'll do ships for 400.
Ships for 400. I'm going to lower your hand.
I got to lower my hand, yes.
Okay,
What's going on here? Hold on. All right.
Okay, there we go. Okay. She is the world's oldest mission naval warship still afloat.
See, Dave Seaver.
There we go. Hey, Dave.
I'm going to go with what is the USS Constitution.
Ding, 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 ding. Old Ironsides. Exactly. We visited that ship back in 2022. October 2022. Was that not that, Chad? Yeah. You were on that
Sorry,
trip.
Navy guys, I beat you to it.
Okay.
Hey now.
Here we go. Okay, you get to choose the next one, Dave.
Oh my goodness, we haven't touched acronyms, have we? Let's go acronyms for 400.
Here we go. POTUS.
Dave Seaver.
What is President of the United States?
Yeah, and here's my question about that. Like when I was growing up, I never heard that term used ever. And it probably wasn't until the past maybe 20 years, maybe 15 years, that people started using it like on the news and in casual conversation. Has it been a military word for a long time? Does anybody know?
It was a Secret Service word. And the reason it stands for POTUS, President of the United States, is when the President of France, the President of Italy is coming to the United States, the Secret Service needs to know which president they're talking about. So POTUS is President of the United States.
Okay.
POTUS might be France, who knows, whatever.
So might we file a dispute with Ray Brendel that this is not actually a military acronym, that it's a Secret Service acronym?
Secret Service, they're civilians. I think he needs to be.
Well,
demoted.
he is the commander in chief.
All right. Okay. Just wanted to clarify that. But it's interesting how that Secret Service term has now gone into the, everyday vernacular. All right. Who answered that one? Dave?
Yeah.
Okay. You get to choose the next one.
Let's go back to acronyms for 200. We'll just go to the top.
UCMJ. Dave, nice.
Wow. What is Uniform Code of Military Justice?
Ding, 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 ding. Yes. Very good.
As officers, we get that pounded into our heads.
Do you really?
Oh, yes.
So you have to read it and know it.
You don't necessarily have to read it and know it. You just know you don't want to violate it. Do you know why they came up with UCMJ?
Why?
So a little, if my memory serves me correctly, feel free to correct me here if anybody knows differently. But the military obviously goes all over the world, and they didn't have any way of adjudicating criminal offenses in other countries. You know, what are those countries' laws, et cetera. So they came up with UCMJ to have a uniform way to deal with criminal behavior in the military.
Oh, good. Okay. So no matter where you are, when you're wearing the uniform, you fall under the UCMJ.
Correct. And then you run into, do we have status of forces agreements with other countries? For example, when I was in Qatar, we don't have that. We don't have a status of forces agreement with them. So if you get in trouble in Qatar, you're on your own.
Oh, really? You're
Yes.
subject to Qatarian law.
We had a young airman get a speeding ticket there, and they're very heavy on law enforcement in that country. It was $1,500 for a speeding ticket, and he had to pay it.
Bill Boswell.
Actually, the UCMJ first came into existence in 1952. Prior to that time, each of the services had its own code. In the Navy, it was informally known as Rocks and Shoals, for example, but it was a uniform code adopted by Congress primarily because of the sometimes cavalier way that military justice was enforced during World War II. And after people came back from the war, leaving the military, they complained to Congress that things were not the way they should be. So that's when the UCMJ came into existence. It had always applied irrespective of where people were in the world, but it was only in World War II where people were virtually everywhere. So the UCMJ was simply a follow-up of what we previously had before. Prior to that time, for example, if you had people stationed in China, as we did before the Second World War, the Army and the Marine Corps would take care of military justice on their own.
Right.
So that was the reason for it. And it's been amended a few times. It's not quite the same military justice system it had, or it acted as in the 50s and the 60s. We could get into this in a lot more detail, but that's the background.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you. I appreciate the correction.
Jim.
Yeah, just correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that when I was in the late 60s and 70s, any officer could end up being a defense attorney. You didn't have to be a lawyer. So you could find yourself grappling with the UCMJ whether you wanted to or not, if you happen to get picked to defend someone.
Sort of, kind of, maybe. By and large, JAGs did things in those days. When I entered active duty in 1971 as a JAG, I could prosecute in the morning and defend in the afternoon. Not the same person, obviously, but we were both prosecutors and defense counsel. And then about a year later, we developed what's called the trial judiciary system, where some people were prosecutors, some people were defense counsel, and they pulled the defense counsel out of the chain of command and made them independent. And they reported directly to the Judge Advocate General of each of the services. And then we established full-time military judges. So it's much more similar to the civilian system now, except in the military, you have more protections than you have in the civilian system.
So it's evolved. Brad.
Well, just UCMJ is also a tool for commanders. As a commanding officer, you can administer the UCMJ for minor infractions, and the accused can request a court-martial. So as a captain, I was able to hear cases and dish out punishment or throw out the charge. As a captain, as any commanding officer of rank, you can hold office hours, which is where the UCMJ comes into play. A charge or charges against the accused, you hear witnesses, you make the judgment, and you deal out the punishment.
Got it.
But ultimately, it's voluntary in the sense that if the individual does not want to accept the punishment, as Brad says, he's entitled to demand trial by court-martial. And it actually goes before that, because if someone is offered an Article 15 and they don't want to accept it, they can automatically turn it down and demand trial by court-martial. It's actually a very effective system for small offenses. Office hours is the term used in the Navy and the Marine Corps. We had different terminology for it in the Air Force and the Army.
Ivan, and then we'll get back to the game.
I'm being slightly sarcastic, and if anyone takes offense, I apologize. But everyone who just spoke, are they all officers? Because as a former enlisted, basically they told I got called. You know, if something happened, the first sergeant calls you up and says, "Listen, Marine, this is what's going to happen. You're going to stand tall in front of the skipper, and you're going to take your, the NJP, Article 15, whatever you non-Marines want to call it, and just, and just hopefully all you're losing is one stripe." So, like I said, I'm saying it slightly sarcastically, but this is from the enlisted point of view.
Very good. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's on the ground point of view.
Todd, as an officer, usually the first sergeant or the sergeant major would come in and say, "Sir, we got this guy coming in to see you. I've talked to him. He's guilty. Yep. He's not guilty. Here's what I think we should do here." And you listened, and you took that all in. So,
right. Dave Seaver, you get to pick the next question.
Well, I'll just say Ivan is very intuitive. Okay, we're going to go back to the blue. Let's go Air Force for 400.
Here we go. Oh, no one's going to get this one. No one's going to get this one. Ray Brendel, this is the Air Force mission.
I would say Ben Wright.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. Even Ben Wright is not going to get this one exactly right. All right, here we go, Ben. We're pulling for you here.
What is fly, fight, and win?
I think we have to give it to him. I think we should give it to him, Ray Brendel.
Absolutely.
Well, Ray, that's not how you wrote the answer, though.
Well, he's a colonel. We just talked about the UCMJ. Come on.
So what is to fly, fight, and win? In air, space, and cyberspace? It's the cyberspace that would get. There's no way I would know that.
Todd, I thought it was to build swimming pools, O clubs, and then to run one.
Here we go. All right. Here we go. We're moving on. Okay. Ben, you get to choose.
All right. Well, we following Dave Seaver's example, we have to go Air Force 1000.
Okay, we're going to lower Ivan's hand here so he can't. He's trying to sneak in. Air Force 1000. Here we go. The first women to fly U.S. military aircraft were known by this acronym. Jim Roberts.
I knew that 2 minutes ago and I can't remember it, so I'm going to crash. Dock me $1,000.
Please send the check. Please send the check to 200 Magnum.
Made up to Veterans Breakfast Club. Okay, here we go. Ben.
What is WASP?
WASPs.
What is WASP? Women's Air Force Service Pilots. Exactly. Ben, you get to choose 200 Air Force.
Well, we're going to have to, complete the Air Force category.
Okay, let's get that off the board. Very good. This is the first verse of the Air Force song.
Dave Seaver.
And you have to sing it.
Oh no, you don't want me singing.
We want to hear it.
We don't have enough what we call in the medical field antiemetics for that.
All right.
Oh man. Why did I have to be so fast on the trigger? I got to think about this. So they've actually changed it too.
No, they have not.
I'm just going to default here. Go on to somebody else because my brain froze on me.
Jim Roberts is next, I think.
Jim Roberts next.
I think it's Off We Go Into the Wild Blue Yonder.
That's it, right?
It's Off We Go Into the Wild Blue Yonder.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What is Off We Go Into the Wild Blue Yonder? Climbing high into the sun. Do we give it to him, Ray?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
All right. You're
oddly enough, for whatever reason, I sing
I
that
could have
every
gotten
morning.
that much of it. I thought you
Every
wanted the
morning
whole
when I
darn
take my
thing.
kids.
You sing this to your kid, Sean?
I put them in the car and I go to leave for daycare. Off we go into the wild blue. I sing it I don't know why.
That is so great. That is so great. All right. So, but who answered that? Jim Roberts. You choose. Oh, here we go to ask him to unmute.
Let's do acronyms for 1,000.
Acronyms for 1,000. These always get me. Oh, these are hard. These are hard. MEPS.
Dave Seaver.
I wouldn't know this. I would not know this.
So what is MEPS? What is MEPS? It's military.
Yeah. What is it?
You flustered me with that last one, and now I'm not going to get this one.
I don't know what it is either. I mean, I know what it is, but I don't know what it stands for.
Yeah, I know, but it's not coming. I got it. Sorry.
Okay. All right. We're going to go right to Brad Washabaugh.
Well, as a former recruiting officer, I will say, what is the military entrance processing station?
Oh my gosh, I never would have gotten that. Where service members take the ASVAB, get a physical, choose their military job, and swear in. Okay, Colonel, what does ASVAB stand for?
Well, it's an aptitude test, so it's battery. I feel like I'm doing an eye exam here.
I know. I mean, I have no idea what that stands for. Battery.
Oh.
I bet you're right. B is battery.
Aptitudes.
Aptitude.
Something verbal.
Vocational.
Armed services, vocational aptitude battery.
Yeah.
Armed services. That's great. Okay. And that helps to determine what your MOS is going to be, correct?
Right. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Excellent. Okay. All right, Brad, you get to choose the next one.
All right, let's go. Let's continue on with acronyms for 800, please.
Got it. Oh, what the heck?
Abe Vigoda.
FISH.
Okay, CJCS.
Brad Washabaugh.
What is the chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff?
Yep, you got it. What is the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff? I would not have gotten that. Okay, you get to choose again.
Let's finish off acronyms for 600, please.
LES.
Ben Wright.
Ben Wright. I have no idea what this is. Oh, I'm sorry, Ben. I muted you.
What is a leave and earning statement?
Wow. What is leave and earning statement?
Hey, Todd, I think I'm the only finance clerk on this call. So that's my favorite. And it was also my nightmare every month having to file those in everyone's records.
So every month, a service member would receive a leave and earning statement, what they earn that month and what leave they still have available? Okay.
Back when I was in, it was paper document.
Right. Right.
Sure, it's electronic today.
They chiseled it on slate back when you were in. Okay. Here we go. Oh, Ben, you get to choose. Oh, I'm sorry. Asked you to unmute.
Famous battles for 1,000.
Famous battles for 1,000. Here we go. No battle since the Vietnam War has killed so many U.S. troops. A desperate defense of the two downed helicopters became a major motion picture. Ivan Marine, you know this answer?
Yes, sir. It's been in different ways, whether it be the Battle of Mogadishu or from the book, or, people recognize it from the book and the movie Black Hawk Down.
Black Hawk Down. Exactly. Very well. Very good. Okay.
And you notice all that mess up started when the Marines pulled out. Just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yep. Yeah, we did a wonderful program about that for the anniversary last fall. That was a really interesting one. Again, you can go to veteransbreakfastclub.org, see the people talking who were there and participated in it. All right.
Mary, wait, we may have a question here. Ray, Mary says, wait, how many in Mogadishu?
How many? The number of casualties escaped me. I don't know.
19 were killed. 19 American troops were killed. I don't know the number of the wounded.
So that would be killed in a single battle. Was that the question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's what my impression was.
Yeah.
Right. That was
Because
my intent in the question.
that was your, so like the bombing of the Beirut barracks.
Henry chimes in the chat. 18 killed, 84 wounded, according to Wikipedia.
So okay, other disasters.
Yeah, I guess you could argue that was a battle.
Yeah, but not really.
I didn't look at it that way when I wrote the question.
And I think you're correct, Ray. I think you're.
Todd, comment and question. I know the Beirut barracks bombing is considered to be a terrorist incident, not a battle.
Got it.
But as far as battles are concerned, how about the Scud collapse on the airbase in Saudi Arabia? Wasn't that 28, 33 people or something? I don't know if that's a battle in the same way, but
yeah.
Well, I could stand corrected. I don't know. That's when I wrote the question, that was what I came up with. But you're right. The Gulf War was obviously after Vietnam.
But that hasn't been, but the Battle of Mogadishu is, recorded in history as a battle.
Right.
And maybe even by the military as a battle, as distinct from an incident or an operation or something like that. Okay. Ivan, you get to choose the next one.
Oh, sir, let us go. And I want to be specific on this because on the Constitution question, I almost said the Swedish ship Vasa or the HMS Victory. So famous U.S. Navy ships.
Famous Navy ships. Okay, so this should be the famous U.S. Navy ships, you say. Are you going to choose one?
800, please.
800, here we go. She marks the resting place of 1,177 sailors and Marines killed during the attack on Pearl Harbor.
Dave Seaver.
What is the USS Arizona?
Here we go, the USS Arizona Memorial.
It's a very somber memorial if you've ever been there.
Yeah, never been there. I'd like to go someday. Can you choose the next one here, Dave?
Well,
and we have Ed Cottrell. I just want to say hi to Ed before we move on.
Yes.
Ed, it's good to see you. Thank you for joining us here.
My honor. I didn't get my hand up in time. I knew the Arizona. I'm like all Air Force guys, slow.
Hey, we resemble that remark.
Well, Ed is Air Force. He's 102 years old. He's beaming in from Asheville, North Carolina, Hendersonville, North Carolina. We're very grateful to have him on. Dave, do you want to pick the next one?
Let's just finish off 5 stars for 1,000.
Got it. Oh, Bob, hold on. Did Bob cheat?
No, well, sort of, yes.
Okay. By the end of World War II, he commanded 43 divisions, 1.3 million men, the largest American field command ever. He is the last man to be promoted to the 5-star rank. The last man.
Scott Masters.
And I have to say, Scott Masters is the only person on this program tonight who is actually on Jeopardy.
That's true, and I hope I get this right now. I think it was Omar Bradley.
You got it. Omar
Okay.
Bradley.
And Todd, can I share a piece of good news?
Yes.
I got named to the Canadian delegation to go to Normandy last week. So I'm heading over at the end of May for about a week and a half. And I look forward to seeing Ed there.
Oh my gosh, how wonderful. What are you going to be doing there?
Touring, hanging out with the Prime Minister a little bit. Hopefully we'll see what all they have in store.
Oh, that is so exciting. Can you, if you have some time, maybe write or send us some pictures that we could post and share, and certainly have you, when you get back, have you come back on and talk about it.
Definitely.
And tell Scott I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm going over on June 2nd to the 9th.
Jeez.
I will definitely look for you.
How cool. That is so cool. Okay. Did we have okay, where are we?
Hey, Todd,
Scott,
before you
would
go
be
on,
Scott.
Yeah.
let me just say something I found very interesting on that last question. Omar Bradley got promoted in 1950. And I think what I read, the original intent was not to have the chairman to be a 5-star. But since MacArthur was still around, they decided to give Bradley that 5th star. I just found that kind of interesting.
Okay. And then, Ed, did you have something else to say, or can we lower your hand here?
I'm sorry, I thought I lowered my hand.
Okay, there we go.
I'm
All
sorry.
right. Scott, you want to choose the next one?
Sure, let's do famous battles for 8.
Famous for 8. In the final stretch of World War II, the Allies sought to gain control of this strategic island. It was barren, but it was an ideal forward deployed location for the Allies.
So Brad Washington.
What is Iwo Jima?
What is Iwo Jima? What is the Battle of Iwo Jima? Excellent. Brad, you get to choose. 2
Let's
left.
go famous battles for
600.
600, yeah.
The ancient imperial capital city of Vietnam was a major military engagement in the Tet Offensive.
Then right.
What is Wei?
What is the Battle of Wei? Exactly. Excellent. Very good. And one more.
Well, we got one left. Must be famous Navy ships of 600.
Famous Navy ships. All right, here we go. She hosted the Japanese surrender ceremony, saw action during the Gulf War, and today is a museum.
Greg Yost.
Yes, what is the USS Missouri?
What is the USS Missouri? Excellent first round. All right, this is great. We had a few little hiccups, but you know, that's to happen. And who do we have leading?
You'll have to do a song and dance for 2 minutes while I tally.
Oh, I'll be happy to do a song and dance, and my song and dance will really be about our sponsors. Tobacco-Free Adagio Health sponsors our program. They are sponsoring this program tonight. We're very grateful for it. They recently re-upped, and I hope we're going to be seeing them at some of our in-person events also. Tobacco-Free Adagio Health is dedicated to preventing and reducing tobacco use, educating people about tobacco hazards, and advocating for healthier places to live, work, and play. You can find out more by going to tobaccofree.adagiohealth.org. And we also have UPMC for Life sponsoring. I'll be seeing them Wednesday at our breakfast too in Sewickley. UPMC for Life can help make sense of Medicare, get the answers and information you need, such as how to choose the Medicare Advantage plan that's right for you. UPMC for Life has plans designed by veterans for veterans that can save you money. And you can find out more about the plans that works best for you by going to upmchealthplan.com/Medicare. That's upmchealthplan.com/Medicare. Our magazine has been out now for at least a month. We send 9,000 copies of this nationwide. If you would like a copy in the mail, let us know and we'll be happy to send you a copy. You can email me at toddtdd@veteransbreakfastclub.org. We are actually putting together our summer edition of our magazine right now. So this is our spring edition. We really invite comments too about the articles you read in the magazines. We like to publish them in the next issue, and we will be publishing some comments about what is in this issue here. And then finally, we have a survey. If you go to SurveyMonkey, we will put the link here in the chat. We ask a 2.5-minute survey questions. Did you like the program? What did you not like about it? How can we improve? And of course, any suggestions you might have are always welcome. So please do, if you have something to contribute, such as this Jeopardy program is not something that we do all the time. I think we should do it more often, along with open conversation. And if you agree, let us know. Or if you disagree, let us know that too, because we're always trying to gauge kind of what works best and have a good variety of programming. All right, Sean, do we have a leader?
We do. Greg Yost is currently leading with 4,000 points. Brad Washabaugh in second, 2,800. Ben Wright in third for 2,200. We have Ivan at 1,800. Dave Seaver, 1,400. Jim Roberts, 800. Scott, 1,000. Mary, 1,000. Chad, -800. Beth, -800. Harold, 1,200. And Ken, -600.
Ken -600. Man, that's just sad. All right. So we need some new names on this board here. All right. New names on the board. Bob Von Bargen, you know a lot. Come on. I expect you to answer some of these questions. All right. Here we go. Ron Stakovich, Steve Foreman. We've got some heavy hitters here. Mark Spiridigliozzi, Bob McCormick. All right. Let's get going. Here is round 2. Again, if you don't like these answers,
Tough.
Go to Ray. Okay. Ray will defend them. Okay, here we go. This is our second round. More acronyms. Veteran presidents, World War I, Cold War, Translate Please, and Vietnam. Who got the last one? Who got the last answer?
I got the last one. I got the USS Missouri, but let me defer. Let me ask Ed Cottrell which category he would like.
Nice.
Let him pick the category.
You're a class act, Greg. There we go.
Thank you, Ray. How about World War One?
World War One, excellent. For 100 or up to 500?
100's fine.
100's fine. World War One. 2 months after entering the war in April 1917, the U.S. Army organized this, which it called a division.
Brad Washabaugh.
What is the Rainbow Division?
No. I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
I believe that would be the big red one, the 1st Infantry Division.
Correct. I believe that was the 1st Infantry Division also, the big red one. Right. I think it was. We could do some research and see, but I think it was. Hold on. Okay. But Ivan, you get to choose.
Yes, sir. Vietnam for 100, please.
Vietnam for 100. Here we go. A museum in Hanoi celebrates the Trong Son Strategic Supply Route, which Americans know as this. Ivan.
The Ho Chi Minh Trail.
What is the... Nope. What is the Ho Chi Minh Trail, Ivan?
Didn't I say what is?
No,
I'm
you
sorry.
did not. What?
Oh, then I'm wrong. Then I'm technically wrong then.
Yeah, that's right. We gave you one mulligan and
Yeah, you did.
right.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But you know what? We'll still let you choose the next one.
I appreciate that. Then I'm gonna go for broke and go World War I for 500, please.
Nice. I like that. I like that attitude. This Pittsburgher is considered to be the first American to die in World War I.
Oh.
Yeah, Pittsburghers have a advantage with this question.
Well, did we finally stump everybody, or is everyone just a little too nervous to lose 500?
I tell you, I'm going to go through some of the Pittsburghers here.
I'm stumped. I'm a San Franciscan.
Oh yeah, it's unfair. Yeah, you shouldn't know this. But there are still in Pittsburgh, there are a couple things named after him. One's a little parklet in Oakland, Shadyside, East Liberty. There used to be a theater in East Liberty named for him. Oh, here we go. Oh, good. Hold on.
Silence is deafening, says Mark.
Bruce, here we go.
Hello?
Hey, Bruce.
Yeah. Was it somebody in Beaver?
Nope.
No. Oh.
He was a member of the Big Red One.
No.
Okay.
I will not dock you 500 points, Bruce.
Mary. Okay, Mary has her hand raised. So she is the Mary. Okay, if anybody comes in with the right answer now, we know that they're cheating. They've looked it up. So the answer is who is Thomas Enright? Enright Theater. There was an Enright Park. I think there's an Enright still, an Enright like a neighborhood.
God bless.
Yeah, he was He was killed early on in October, I think, of 1917. All right, back to the panel. Okay.
I think Ivan had selected that last one, so Ivan goes again.
We'll climb the ladder, sir, at 400. Oh, excuse me, World War I at 400.
World War I at 400. Here we go. This Allied power was the only country apart from the U.S. to emerge from World War I more powerful than before. This is kind of a judgment call, but
Masters?
I think it's accurate.
I'm going to have to go with Canada.
That's not what I thought. You know what? You're probably right. Okay, except for Canada and the US. How about another one? Scott.
Another one.
Yeah.
Let's
an
go.
Allied, it was an allied power. It's not one that you normally think of as an allied power.
Let's go to, how about Japan?
Form of a question.
What is Japan?
What is Japan?
What is Japan? Yeah. Yeah. And what, oh. All right.
Judge, do we give it to him?
I think we give it to him. Because, I mean, Canada. I don't know. Well, no, tell us how World War I transformed Canada.
Well, Canada got the rest of its independence. The Industrial Revolution really kicked in a big way. There's quite a few different ways in which Canada emerged from the war better than it was going in.
Okay. I will stand corrected. Let's give this to Scott for sure. Well, I'll have to find who made this game and really punish them there. Okay, Scott, why don't you pick the next one?
I'll stay with World War I for 300.
World War I for 300. In 1915, the British Royal Navy created the Landship Committee to design this new weapon.
Greg Yost.
What is the military tank?
What is the tank? Look at that thing. None too formidable there. All right.
Deliberately misnamed to throw off the enemy. So, yes.
Yes. Explain that, Greg. Tell us about that. That's
well, it was, they said it was a device for hauling water to the front lines. And it was a water tank. Of course, it was not, but they figured if anyone got hold of this, they were testing these water tanks to track water up to the front lines. So,
and that's how tanks got the name tank.
Yeah, yeah.
That is so great. Thank you for filling us in on that history. All right. What's the next question here?
From the oldest to the youngest, Henry Shepke, why don't you pick a category here? Let's see what the youngins think is interesting here. So.
There's Henry. We'll ask you to unmute Henry. Henry, you're also co-host. You can unmute yourself.
I think he might not be co-host anymore.
Oh.
I think he dropped off accidentally.
Oh.
Because of his internet. Okay, Henry.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah, my screen froze a little bit. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, why don't you choose?
Pick a category and a number here. You haven't. I know you're not allowed to participate in the same way, but what's of interest to you on this board here?
Okay. I guess veteran presidents for 100.
Here we go. Veteran presidents for 100. He served for 3 months in the state militia, where he joked, "I fought, bled, and came away after many bloody struggles with the mosquitoes."
Ivan.
That would be Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, that's Abraham Lincoln. Absolutely. That Black Hawk War. Exactly. You got it.
But I didn't get it in the form of a question.
Oh, did I do that? I swear you guys got to have the show again, and I'll be ready. I swear.
We'll let you choose the next question, though.
You guys are too patient with me. As a former jarhead, and no, I don't eat crayons. I appreciate that. So,
Ivan, I'm working so hard not to crack a Marine joke. So,
there's so many. Trust me, as a former Marine, I know.
Right.
Let's go down that ladder then at veteran presidents at 200, please.
Veteran presidents at 200. This brilliant Republican from Ohio was a Civil War general who learned how to fight war by reading books.
Greg Yost.
Who was James Garfield?
That's it. James Garfield, the martyred president. Absolutely. Yes. Yep. Just saw his grave. I visited my daughter over Easter in Cleveland, where he's buried. She lives right across the street from the Garfield grave. I was very excited when I learned that's where she was moving. She said, "Who's Garfield?" All right.
The cat?
Yeah, okay.
Let's see. Out of respect for so many here, how about Vietnam for 200?
Vietnam for 200. The last names listed on the Vietnam War Memorial wall died May 1975 during this incident.
Dave Seaver.
What is the Mayaguez incident?
Correct. What is the SS Mayaguez incident? We had a wonderful program on that.
I remember that. I was a teenager when that happened.
Yeah. I think we did a program on that last year with some of the Mayaguez veterans. Dave?
Let me see. We haven't been to the Cold War yet, so let's do the Cold War for 100.
Cold War for 100. Here we go. During the Cold War, 5 nations of Europe remained neutral, siding with neither the U.S. nor the Soviet Union. Finland, Sweden, Switzerland, Austria, and this country, which was also neutral in World War II. Boy, that's a long question.
Ray Brendel.
Ray.
That would be, what is Ireland?
Yep. What is Ireland? Exactly. Now, often you will see listed as neutral Yugoslavia and I think Albania, but I don't really count those because I think that was not quite neutral.
Ivan, did you have a question or are you just raising your hand?
A question. I'm sorry if it's not too much trouble. Could you show that again? Because I know Portugal was. I know Portugal fought sent troops in World War I, but they were neutral in World War II. So did I read the question incorrectly?
But Portugal was aligned during the Cold War.
Ah, got it. Got it. Thank you.
So that was the issue. Hold on a second. All right. So I'm going to get back to.
So that's my mistake. I apologize.
Okay. No, it's good to clarify this stuff because some of this stuff is really nuanced. Oh, man.
And just so everyone knows, I think Ray built the first Jeopardy and Todd, you built the second round 2 Jeopardy, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. So Ray can answer questions this time.
Okay.
I didn't want the pitchfork starting to come out.
Yeah. All right. And I need to do some fixing, get some stuff off the board here. I think Vietnam was taken. Yeah. Okay. I think we're ready to go now. Here we go. Okay. I think this was our board. Who do we have? Dave? No, Ray, Brendel.
Side, before we do that, Todd, I think 400 was off of World War I because Scott had answered that.
Oh, yes. Right. Canada.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's try acronyms for 100.
Acronyms for 100. This anti-Soviet military alliance was created on April 4th, 1949.
Brad Washbaugh.
What is the Warsaw Pact?
Nope. No.
I mean, yeah. Sorry. I got opposites.
Dave Seaver.
What is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization?
Can we accept
NATO.
that? Okay, we can. What is NATO? There we go. What is NATO? Okay. Scott, did you have something to say? No. Okay. Here we go. Dave, why don't you pick the next one?
Okay. Translate, please, for 100.
Translate for 100. You're coming through Lima Charlie.
Dave Seaver.
What is loud and clear?
Correct. Loud and clear. Very good. You get to choose the next one.
Ooh, goody. Let's go translate, please, for 200.
Translate, please, for 200. USAF personnel like to call these people flight suit inserts.
I thought Ben would be on that one.
Ben is.
Ben?
Water spoons.
I made up this question. Maybe I'm off with this. I thought I could have sworn I've heard this before. maybe it's something I made up. Brad Washabaugh.
I'm just going to guess and say pilots.
Yeah, pilots. Right?
Never heard of it.
Oh boy.
Me either.
Sean, give everybody points for this one. That's on me. Okay.
No, Todd, I'm removing points from you.
Yeah, it's all right. Let's go. Translate, please, for 300. A kinetic military action can be said to be this.
Chad Riddle.
Dad, you are quick on the draw.
Battle.
Excuse me?
What is a battle?
What is a battle? I think we could accept that. What is violent? Kinetic is a word, again, that's a word that maybe in the past 10, 15 years started to be used for like active. Okay. Ken
I
Kazak.
recommend a new Clue Crew.
Here we go. The boo birds are circling. All right, Chad, you get to choose the next one.
Acronyms for 5.
Acronyms for 5. The full name for SHAFE.
Dave Seaver. We'll ask you to unmute, Dave.
Sorry. What is Supreme Headquarters Allied Expeditionary Force?
Nice. Forces, but we'll accept it.
Sweet.
All right, Dave.
Oh, let me see. Let's go veteran presidents for 200.
Good. Oh, we already did this. Let's do 300.
Let's do 300.
This only president from New Hampshire was suspected of being a Confederate spy during the Civil War.
Greg Yost.
Who was Pierce?
Yep. Who was Franklin Pierce?
Ancestor of Barbara Bush, I believe.
Are you serious?
Maybe an uncle, maybe a great uncle, but George W. Bush was basically descended from 2 U.S. presidents.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Did not know that. Okay. All right. You get to choose.
Wow. Well, let's go Cold War for 200.
Cold War for 200. JFK was said by Russian speakers to mispronounce this Soviet leader's last name in 4 different ways at once. Scott Masters.
I'm going to go with who is Khrushchev?
Yes. Who is Nikita Khrushchev? Now, apparently you say it Khrushchev, and he would call him Chairman Khrushchev. Yeah.
Chowda.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I want to point out that my American history class just wrote their Cold War, World War II quiz today, and I did have a question about the 2 of them on there.
Oh, good. Very good. All right. You pick the next one.
Stay with Cold War, please. 300.
Cold War 300. Officials in the German Democratic Republic, GDR, called it the anti-fascist protection rampart, but we know it as this.
Dave Seaver.
What is the Berlin Wall?
What is the Berlin Wall? Something that's now history. All right.
Where'd they go?
You get to choose.
I see Zoom on my screen, but nothing else.
Oh no. Do the rest of you see
There we
this?
go. You're back. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Clicked on the wrong thing there. I was trying to get my hand back up and clicked on something I shouldn't have. Oh boy, let's see. How about go back to Vietnam for 200?
Vietnam for 200. The last names. Oh, we did this already. We'll go for 300.
Okay.
Okay. We now know that Lê Duan, who took over as Communist Party secretary in July 1959, wielded more power than this figurehead, whom the U.S. assumed was in charge of North Vietnam.
Ray Brendel.
Who is, excuse me, who is Ho Chi Minh?
Who is Ho Chi Minh? Exactly. Yeah. Lê Duan essentially overthrew or ousted Ho Chi Minh from political power in 1959. All right. Ray, you get to choose.
Let's do Vietnam for 400.
Vietnam for 400. On April 28th, 1975, Armed Forces Radio played this song to signal the start of evacuations? Nancy Smoyer.
Wait.
This is what?
Hold on.
What?
Jim
Ah.
Roberts had his hand up real quick, but nope. Okay, he's shaking his head. Nancy Smoyer, you're right.
Nancy Smoyer. How are you, Nancy?
What was White Christmas?
Nice. What is White Christmas? Exactly. That was played on Armed Forces Radio to signal that the evacuation was going to begin. And I think there were Vietnamese people who were planning to evacuate, but didn't know what the song sounded like. They knew that they were to listen for the song, but they'd never heard the song before. So we're asking around Americans who are still in Saigon, what does that, sing me a few bars so I know the song when it comes on. Nancy, you get to pick the next one.
Vietnam.
Vietnam 500. These Marines landing at Red Beach, Da Nang on March 8, 1965 were the first U.S. troops authorized for this. Ray Brendel.
What is combat?
Yeah, for offensive combat operations. Absolutely. And there it is, Ray. We were there. We were there in,
Yes, we were. That was
in
fun.
December. Oh, it was a beautiful place. Right there. We were right there. Okay. You get to choose, Ray.
Let's try translate, please, for 400.
Translate, please, for 400. The most important thing a new recruit needs to know about a left-handed monkey wrench is this. Ivan.
Oh, that it doesn't exist.
Yes, that it doesn't exist. What it doesn't exist. Right.
And I actually have this book too, called the left-handed monkey wrench.
There's a book called Left-Handed Monkey Wrench?
It was, if you got any of you remember the movie called The Sand Pebbles.
Yeah.
And it was written by a former Navy guy who unfortunately passed away too early in his 40s. What his book that The Sand Pebbles came from was called The Left-Handed Monkey Wrench.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and it's fascinating because I think it's an unknown, not unknown, but very less written about. See, Marines can't talk. Least written about the when the U.S. Navy was on the China rivers up until 1941, and they had to evacuate to the Philippines.
Right. And Sand Pebbles starred. It was a movie in the.
Yeah,
Steve McQueen.
Steve McQueen. Right.
Steve McQueen. Yeah. And the boat, the gunboat was called I believe the San Pueblo, and they called themselves the Sand Pebbles.
Yeah, boy. I saw that movie many years ago, and I don't remember it well.
And that is your TED Talk for today. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Ivan. I appreciate that. History. Yeah. Can you want to choose the next question?
Well, if I'm going to say this now. What is okay? So the next question is, it will be. I'm sorry. World War I for 300, please.
World War I for 300. Here we go. In 1950. Oh, we only did that. World War I for 200. Here we go.
Yeah.
These were the first two countries to go to war in 1914. Every other nation followed.
Greg Yost.
What were Serbia and Austria-Hungary?
You got it. What are Austria-Hungary and Serbia? They were the first two. Exactly. And then the House of Cards fell. All right. All right, Greg.
Oh, Cold War 400.
Cold War 400. After 1947, the U.S. defended this gap, the southern corridor through West Germany's rugged central uplands east of Frankfurt.
Dave Siebert.
Am I mute? Okay. What is the Fulda Gap?
Yes. What is the Fulda Gap? Exactly. That's where World War III was going to begin if it were to happen then. All right. Choose the next one, please.
Oh, let's just finish off the Cold War for 500.
Cold War for 500. These televised Senate hearings in 1954 involving the U.S. Army greatly harmed the influence and reputation of this U.S. Senator.
Bob McCormick. We'll ask you to unmute.
Who is McCarthy? Yeah, thank you, Bob. And this is the dumbest written question. I know. I thank you for getting this right. But look how dumb. Look how poorly written this sentence is. You don't know what you're answering. Am I answering the televised Senate hearings, or am I naming the senator? I meant to have you name the senator, and you got it. What were the? Oh no, I guess I had you. See, I'm confused. Okay, yeah, but I think we're gonna count. This is Joseph McCarthy from Wisconsin. And you can see here the Army council has his head in his hands. He's like, oh, such a headache. Okay. All right, here we go. Bob, why don't you choose the next one?
Sorry, Bob, I muted you. Go ahead and unmute. You have to unmute, Bob, so you can. There we go. Go ahead, Bob.
Okay. Veteran Presidents 400.
Veteran Presidents 400. This president joined the Navy in World War II, won $8,000 playing poker in the Pacific, and used the money to launch his political career in 1946.
Greg Yost.
It was Richard Milhouse Nixon.
Yes, never lost a poker game.
Yeah.
Yep, excellent, excellent poker player. And I believe he learned how to play poker in the Navy, I think.
Yes. Yep.
He won a lot of money. I mean, $8,000 in 1945 was a lot of money. All right, excellent. Greg.
Oh, let's give acronyms a try for 200.
Acronyms for 200. This object detection system using radio waves was developed just in time to save Britain in 1940. There we go.
Jim
Roberts.
What is radar? RADAR.
Yeah, what is radar? Radio detection and ranging. Excellent. Jim?
Let's do acronyms for 400.
Acronyms for 400. In 1985, the Army rolled out the first high mobility multi-purpose wheeled vehicle.
Dave Sieber.
What is the Humvee?
What is the Humvee? Exactly.
If you've ever driven one, they're a rough ride.
They are?
They are. And they don't have they have automatic, most of them have automatic transmissions, and they don't have a park gear. You put it in neutral and set the brake.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, guys. I screwed. There's a technical issue that I'm having. Oh my gosh.
Hey, random question about the Humvee. Do you need a key to start it?
No.
No.
Okay. Okay. Right. So you don't lose the key and you can't start. You don't need a key, just like the Jeep, right?
Exactly. Oh, all the combat vehicles, had to tell a civilian friend of mine, all combat vehicles don't have keys, just a certain set of buttons.
Yeah.
And all. And the first vehicle I got a license on as a dumb 21-year-old Marine was a Jeep. And man, thank God the automatic transmission came out later on. I'm such an idiot, I swear.
All right. As you can see, I screwed up the board again, and there's a technical reason for this. So I'm going to choose the categories I think were left on the board. 300. Yeah. This is this abbreviation for an impermanent assignment at another location is not technically an acronym. At least I don't think it is.
Jim Roberts.
What is TDY?
Yeah. TDY. Shouldn't it be TDS?
I think it's just temporary duty.
Okay, temporary duty. Okay.
Or TAD if you're a Marine.
Yep.
Is that true?
That is true. That's why I didn't
There you
want to
go.
open my big mouth, but that's very true.
There you go, Ivan. That was for you.
Thank
Ivan,
you, ma'am.
we got to give him his points back for this. That's great. I had no idea. I had no idea.
Hey, there's even another term that we only used in the Marines, at least when I was in the 80s and 90s, and that's being fapped out, FAP. And that was in Okinawa in the Fleet Assistance Program.
Oh.
And that means you went out, like you had a bunch of guys in your platoon and said, hey, we need someone to work over at regiment for the next deployment. That's you. Or someone to work as the range supervisor. Hey, corporal, that's you. So that was, at least in the Marines, in the 80s and 90s, was FAP, Fleet Assistance Program.
Okay. You know, when we, Ivan, we do veteran storytelling events, you know, in person and online. And I'm always learning new things. And I do remember when somebody was telling a story and they said, I was TDY'd. And I hate to interrupt, you know, when somebody's sharing a story, but I said, like, what does TDY'd mean, you know? And I remember that very well. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go to acronyms 400. Nope, nope, we already got that one. Acronyms 500. Nope, we got that. Yep, I think we've gotten this one. How about, do we have any presidents left?
I think maybe the five. Okay.
500?
I think 500. Yeah.
This 34-year-old artillery captain's eyesight was so bad, he had to cheat on the eye exam to join the Army.
Dave Seaver.
Who was Harry Truman?
Yeah. Yes, he did. Terrible eyesight. Who is Harry Truman? That's
the buck
right.
stops here.
Yes, and he was upset to learn, I believe. He was upset. Oh, gosh. Okay.
He didn't know about the nuclear bomb program.
Right. Okay, and he was upset to learn that he had to resign his commission, I think, when he became vice president. He was in the reserves.
A great book about Harry Truman is called The General versus the President. I don't know if you've ever read that. It's about the relationship between Truman and MacArthur. Excellent book.
I think we've done the board. I think we've done the whole board. Let's see.
I can hear the wheels turning in Sean's head.
Yeah.
Grinding noise there.
Yeah, I think we're done. I think we finished it. Oh no. Okay, we still have, I think we have one left. Translate, please. All right. Okay. I'm just making sure that we have all the, okay. Yeah, we have one left. So I'm going to, and it's translate, please. And it's for $500. And I'm going to share my screen so you can see it. Here we go. The slang word shave tail comes from the old Army practice of cutting newly broken mules' tails for identification. Soldiers began calling these by the same name. Whew. That's hard to understand.
Bob McCormick.
Poorly written.
Bob, you're muted. Please, we'll have you on mute.
Am I good now?
Yeah.
Yep. What is it, first lieutenant?
No, I think we're not going to accept that. Very close. Jim Roberts?
What is a second lieutenant?
Yeah, there we go. What is a second lieutenant? I love it.
Been there, done that.
Jim, was that?
We all had to start somewhere.
Was the term shave tail still used when you were in, Jim?
No, it was not. No,
It was
other
not.
terms were used that we can't use in this particular setting, but not shave tail.
So shave tail, I mean, I think I've heard it used in World War I and World War II, but it didn't carry on after World War II.
Well, the names I'm referred to are referring to that part of the animal, but not the tail.
All right. Ben Wright, did you ever hear that term used when you were in?
I heard it used, but just in passing.
Okay.
But second lieutenants were known by all kinds of names, as Jim said.
Jim?
I once was one too.
I love Chad Riddle said, everybody should be an ensign once in their life.
Yeah, well, that's Mr. Riddle said that.
Isn't there an old joke in the enlisted ranks? What's the difference between a PFC and a second lieutenant? PFC's been promoted twice.
That's the joke we had in the Corps. That's the joke we had in the Corps. I think Mr. Cottrell is raising his hand.
All right. Yes. Mr. Cottrell, here we go.
Shave tails were a good way to get a dollar bill. Because you were a shaved tail, you got a salute, you had to give a dollar bill.
You got a dollar bill.
Yep.
Now, how did this work? Can you explain it to me again? How did it work?
When somebody saluted you, you gave them a dollar bill.
Oh, okay. Got it. So
No,
that was a
I
good way
don't
to
know.
earn a buck.
I don't know how it is now, but when we were commissioned in OCS, First Sergeant was waiting outside the chapel where we took our oath, and he saluted us, and we each gave him a silver dollar.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, the Air Force did the same thing. I had a pocket full of dollars when I was commissioned.
so truly, that's how it worked. You
Yeah, then I emptied it. Yes.
Michael, good to see you.
My understanding was that it was the first enlisted man that saluted you after commissioning.
That's
Yeah.
what I think I remember. Right. The first, right? The first man who saluted you. Okay. Oh, this is so much fun.
You know, Todd, I saw that scene in An Officer and a Gentleman at the end, where the new officers were given their drill sergeant a silver dollar.
So did they do that in the Navy also with ensigns?
I didn't. I never experienced that.
I see Jim McStay nodding his head. Yes. Yes, they did. Okay.
Well, it wasn't in Newport.
Okay. Hey, this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to Henry Shepke for helping us here on the back end, and Sean Hall, and to all of you for joining us. We're going to do this again. I've just put it on the calendar for October. If you could believe it, we're booked from pretty much now to Veterans Day. So, but I still want to make sure that we get another one of these in this year. This is a lot of fun. All
You
right.
want to know the final scores?
Yeah, final scores.
All right. Unless we're doing a final Jeopardy, but if not, Greg Yost in the lead, 5,400. Dave Seaver, 3,900. Brad Washabaugh, 2,800. Ben Wright, 2,000. Jim Roberts, 1,800. And Scott Masters at 1,600.
Wow. So, okay, Greg, you won pretty commandingly. Did we promise some kind of prize?
Something.
Or did I not say that out loud?
You didn't, but I'm sure we can
I didn't say that out loud.
scrounge up something for Greg.
Forget you heard anything. Okay.
Give him a dollar bill.
A dollar bill. Good
A
job.
dollar bill. Okay, give me a silver dollar. That'd be great. I'll get my hair cut too. So
Yes, you got. I'll give you next time I see you, Greg. We'll
next time you give me one of those buzz shaves. That'll be my reward. You'll put me up in front of the next breakfast and shave my head. So
Good night, everybody. We'll hope to see you Wednesday morning. Or
Thank you for having me. It was a great show.
Ivan, I hope to see you
Ivan.
again. Email me, Ivan. I want to send you some magazines. Okay.
Aye, aye, sir.
Okay. I'll see you all later. Take care. Bye-bye.